Yo, what's up, good peoples, and welcome to a special bonus episode of 88 Fantasy Wrestling. In today's episode, y'all, we gonna be talking about the greatest WrestleManias, y'all, the greatest WrestleManias of all time, y'all. I wanted to get into basically the WrestleMania season, y'all. We starting to approach, and I know with the current events, you start to get out of touch a little bit, So right here on 88, we want to try to give it a little spin, bring a little flavor to it, and bring y'all in the mood a little bit, So I wanted to talk about the capabilities of what makes a WrestleMania a great WrestleMania, So we're gonna touch about the ins and outs real quick. But first, I want to talk about last week's episode. Again, man, So last week, we talked about it was the 88 Hulk and Andre. What if Andre couldn't make it? And I felt like it was one of our better episodes that we had, man. So I appreciate everybody. Y'all keep chiming in, man. Please, man. I appreciate the love, the support. We gonna keep just rocking and rolling here, man. Moving along on 88. So like I say, without further ado, man, let's get into this bonus episode. So again, man, I just wanted to talk about from the basically the opening of the greatest WrestleMania openings that they had. Basically we just gonna comprise all the special bits that all of them had and to just make one big great WrestleMania, y'all. That's what we wanted to do. Here, just have a little fun with it, man. So just think about the greatest openings that they done had before, man. You got the one with WrestleMania 6, when you had Warrior. Matter of fact, you see it right there, man. You had the Warrior when he had coming through with Hogan, and they had the universes coming together. And then you had the one with 8. I remember 8. You had with Flair and Macho, and they would come in and see it. And, it was like Hogan's last match. Then you had the one with 10. I thought 10 was the standout because 10 was the one where they actually had the breaks in between the matches, and they was breaking down the past manias, and showing the tradition of Mania, man. So I thought that was Chef's Kiss, sweet, man. That was perfect. And you had some good recent ones, and I remember Freddie Blassie, led up 17. He opened up 17. Man, I remember, like I say, I remember the national anthems, man. You had some good ones. Of course, you had Aretha, Boys to Men. I remember they did one before, man. Like I say, man, it's been some good ones, man. Like I say, so even the saluting of the national anthems, all the openings, and we'll take that into the first matches, So think about all the good first matches that we done had in Mania, man. And of course, the first one that come to my mind is the Bret and Owen WrestleMania 10 again. So check that. Remember WrestleMania 10, man. That's 2. So they had one of the best opening matches I feel in WrestleMania history. Coming in with them guys. Then I remember, let's see, you had what was it? 14, 17. I remember 17. You had the one with Regal. Actually, I think Regal, he did back-to-backs. I thought it was all right openers. I think he had one with Jericho and RVD. So I feel like those was good, solid openers. It's hard to find really, and it would really define, going into, you just wanted to, it was before that, it was just pick me up. You wanted something to wake the crowd up, really tune in to find, I remember going into 21, you had Ray and Eddie. They had opened it up, I think they was trying to one of the up the antes for greatest opening WrestleMania matches, So going into that, we had some good ones, and then of course you're only as good as your opening as your ending, and I feel like it's been good main events, and of course main events, man, it's been all the way from WrestleMania 1, of course, to now. I feel like, even with WrestleMania 40 to me was a top 5. I feel like that was a top 5 WrestleMania main event with Roman and Cody. Absolutely. So I put that up there with the greatest WrestleMania main events for sure. You had I feel like another sleeper is 31. I feel like 31, that was a great main event, one of the recent main events that they had with Brock and Roman when they had first met up. You done had let's see, this some standalone 17, of course. Everybody always know about the Rock and Austin when they had fought. You had man, I'm thinking about, like I say, some oh yeah, man, don't forget the double stack. You had the double stack. I remember that with Roman. You know, that's just like I say, just to talk about current, you know, kind of recent current manias with Roman, with Daniel Bryan and Edge. Man, I thought that was a great Mania main event as well. That was like kind of the start of the tribal chief area that they had. You know, they thing that they had going on. So I thought that was pretty good as well. So you know, it's been some good ones, man. And like I say, so if I had to like go, you want me to give you a top five, like for the manias, I'll probably go. We're gonna go probably WrestleMania 3, of course. You know, I feel like, you know, we talked about that, man. If everybody, if you haven't seen the WrestleMania 3 Hulk Andre episode, go back to that. We talked about it a little bit more. Just the nostalgia of it, man. I felt like it was just the spectacle and the start of all the stadium manias that we always had, like we got today. You know, I feel like WrestleMania 10, man, they got to go in there, man, because it was like it just had everything. You know, from the ladder match that they had, I felt like from like I say, the Bret Owen match, with the way they played the Bret Hart thing, and giving Bret the Rocket, giving him the title. You know, when he had to go through the guys, you know, he had to go through failure to get, you know, achieve greatness, man. It was just beautiful. I put 10 in there. I felt like 17, you know, everybody always, you know, talk about 17. 17 was a good show. You know, I felt like 31, definitely. I felt like 31 top to bottom was a good show, man. So definitely, man, you guys go back, man, watch that. 24, I feel like WrestleMania 24 don't get enough credit, man. That was to me a good show. They had the triple threat match. They had Shawn Michaels and Flair, the retirement match. It was a sick Money in the Bank match that year. You know, I remember Sheldon flipping everywhere all over the place. So 24 definitely a sleeper. Good main event too with Edge and Undertaker. So definitely 24 sleeper Mania. So definitely check that out, man, if y'all get a second. And probably like I say, leading in like 40, you know, it's a hit and miss. 39. Actually, I get 39 some credit, man. You know, I always go back and think of that. The first Cody and Roman match, they don't get enough credit, man. I felt like that was a good one, you know, and the bad guy actually won too. That was a different spin on it, you know, a little bit. But we had the triple threat match there with Drew, Gunther, and Sheamus. I thought that was a good banger match. The Dominic Ray match. So 39 too, man. I think 39 get the honorable mention. I wanted to throw in a couple sleeper matches too for y'all to go check out. You know, man, I love doing that. You know, 88, man, we love to get a little flavor with the matches too. So look, check this out. I want y'all to go check out. I'm gonna go do this too. But we had the Bulldogs against the Dream Team right back in 85. This was in WrestleMania 2. 86, I'm sorry, WrestleMania 2. They had the Bulldogs against the Dream Team, which was Valentine and Beefcake, of course. But I felt like that was probably the best match of the card. So I'm going to go check that out myself. Y'all go back and check that out. Please check out Piper and Bret from 1992 from WrestleMania 8, man. I thought that was a great match as well, y'all. Check that one out, man. That was like when Piper, you know, he had the IC title, man, and they put on some good stuff then, man. So y'all get a second, go check them out. I think Batista Undertaker from WrestleMania 23. I thought that was a sleeper. This fire match as well, man. Just from the entrance zone, man. They put on a good match. It was a hell of a show. Everybody didn't think Batista could put that, you know, type of match on with Taker. They stole the show low key. So check that out. And another one too is check out Bianca and Sasha, man. I thought that would put on a real good show at that Mania, man. I thought that was a real good Mania match. Just like I say, I like to keep it current as well. So again, y'all, we just wanted to get into the Mania season a little bit more with this. You know, if y'all got, you know, y'all feel like it's somebody that I missed, if it's a Mania I missed, you know, in my top 5 list, y'all feel like, you know, y'all want to comment on y'all top 5 Mania, comment, you know, we can chime in, we can go back on that. And also, you know, let's just get into, you know, the boo. You know, as I say, the road to WrestleMania, you know, it's coming. That's what we doing now, you know. So, you know, we're going to have a good SmackDown show. We probably do a SmackDown review coming up soon. And try to do, you know, weekly reviews as we get into more of these shows, you know. So just really just to spice it up and get us more into the groove of the Mania, man. So y'all keep listening in, man, to 88. We got a couple more good shows coming up. I got a good Triple H episode coming up. I got a WCW episode that's about to be dropping soon. Like I said, we got fire, man. So I appreciate y'all. Just keep listening in. And keep dropping more stuff, man. So again, man, greatest WrestleManias. Wish y'all greatest WrestleMania. Let me know, man. So Sean P, 88 Fantasy Wrestling. Again, I'm out. Peace.